Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I bring on a guest I had on the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him on back. So today's guest is Evihn Vaszily, who is the Senior Product Marketing Manager over at AVID Center and also host of the new podcast, Mindfulness Happy Hour. Evihn, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you very much, Adam. I'm very excited to be here and honored to be brought back for round two here.
Oh, man, so I'm pumped. I was like, wait a minute, you're joining the podcasting club. I'm really excited for you, and we're going to get into the podcast. I want to talk all about it, and I definitely want my listeners to go check it out. But before we do that, audience has grown quite a bit, been very blessed on the podcast, and I want to not assume that our new listeners heard your original episode, so let's just start with what's going on over at the AVID Center. Tell us a little bit more about the profit, please.
Sure, absolutely. So, for those of you that haven't heard of AVID Center, what it is, it's actually a nonprofit that does professional training for teachers to facilitate a program that's supposed to help underprivileged kids and basically close the achievement gap and prepare them for college, for career, and for success in life beyond that, right? So really cool organization. I just came on board about a couple months ago. Came on board as a product marketing manager. Basically, it's my job to go in and, look at all the different products we have in the portfolio and kind of position them and message them, not only within the organization, but also trying to get more teachers and more district leaders on board so we can get out there and help more kids. That's really the goal.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome, and it's great stuff. And I love to see good nonprofits doing good work out there. If somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more about AVID Center, what's the best way for them to do that?
Sure. So check out avid.org first off. That's going to be your best bet. But aside from that, we're all the different social media channels. You can check out the new podcast actually coming out pretty soon. AVID's doing one as well. Lots of different venues.
Awesome. Well, hey, Evihn, I want to get into your podcast, speaking of podcasts. So Mindfulness Happy Hour. Tell me all about it. Let's get into it.
That's right. Exactly. So, at its core, right, this is something that's been in the works for a few months now. It's kind of my newest project. And really what it is an attempt to capture something that I've been doing for kind of a long time and interested in, but in a more colloquialized, kind of down-to-earth, raw form of covering the content. So I guess the story starts that I started getting into Buddhism about 7.5 years ago. And I started going to a temple called the Dharma Temple. And since then, I've been learning. I've done a ton of different retreats. Have a ton of great experiences around all that. And I wanted to kind of take everything that I've learned over the course of the past 7.5 years and kind of put it into the context of the modern day life of like an average person, the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis, and kind of talk about themes, in the modern world and how they apply, when it comes to kind of being mindful as we go through and interact with everything throughout our day. So I'm hoping to get that going here very shortly. The best way to check it out, I guess, is to go to the website. It's still under construction, but in any case, that's mindfulnesshappyhour.com. And I'm super excited to get that going.
So tell us a little bit more about the format. So is it going to be 20 minutes, an hour? Like, what's your feel for it? What's kind of the tone? Give us a little bit more there than what you're going for. I'm excited.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. So, kind of inspired by this one and a bunch of other podcasts that I've been really into over the past few years. I'm thinking somewhere around like 15, 20 minutes for each podcast. Very similar to this one, honestly. As far as the format, there's going to be some where I'm kind of introducing a topic and talking through it and kind of, putting it in a certain lens. And then aside from that, I also want to bring in, guest speakers from time to time, kind of people that are, are big in the mindfulness space, but also, again, have a more raw delivery, kind of an approach that's again, understandable for the average person and doesn't get too down into kind of like the academics of it, right? But yeah, very much still in development.
That's awesome. And so what's the timeline on this? When you plan on getting the launch done?
Yeah, absolutely. So as far as actually getting an episode out there, for everybody listening, you can expect the first one to come out in March. That's what I'm shooting for here. So, stay tuned.
You like how I make you set that date, right? That's called setting the goal. You think I'm gonna, right. Evin? Do you know? I don't think you understand what I do here on this podcast. I get things done. How do I get things done? I give you actionable goals. I make you put them down. So now all your friends, all your buddies are gonna hear this. You're gonna share it with your coworkers at AVID, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Evin, yeah, you're launching it in March. Oh, everybody's gonna be like, you're launching it in March. Guess who's gonna make sure they launch their podcast in March, Evin?"
see, this is what Adam does. Yep.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love it.
I'll have it in writing now.
I love it. Not only us, there's thousands and thousands of other people. That's what you call motivation by peer pressure. It can do good things too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Highly effective, right?
Good stuff. And so last thing I'll ask you about that, and the reason is because a lot of people always ask me, podcasting, launching a podcast, doing all this. I mean, everybody does it for their own reasons, which you've given us some of yours. Tell them that, you tell me. I tell people it's not rocket science. Like, there's so many different ways to do this. You can do it low tech. I recorded my first 300 episodes on my iPhone headphones. I didn't even have a mic, and I still use something that most people don't use, which is a trucker mic, and that's it. So, I literally have a headset on, and I use that all day, and I don't care. I like it. It's comfortable, whatever. I don't want to sit in front of a Yeti all day. I could, and I don't want to. So whatever. But can you talk about, not rocket science? Just let the audience know if they want to launch a podcast, they should. But I want them to hear it from you.
It's really not. Yeah. I mean, as far as the equipment, as long as you have $30, I mean, like you said, a lot of people start doing this even on their cell phone microphones. As long as you have a space where you can go where it's relatively quiet, that's really what it comes down to when it comes to recording it. And as far as actually figuring out the technicalities of it, I mean, there's a process just in terms of figuring out where to host it and having it upload to places where people can actually access it and download it. But it's really not as difficult as it sounds. It's something that really anybody could figure out within the space of, even an hour or two, right? The barriers to entry here are basically non-existent.
Man, that's awesome. Well, Evin, hey, really appreciate coming on the show. I'm excited to get that first episode out in March to everybody listening. Everybody that knows Evin, you make sure he gets that episode out. And congrats on the work that you're doing over at AVID. I'm glad to see you join their team, and I know you're going to contribute and do awesome things over there like you have done in the past. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget, leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you're doing in podcasting. Both Evin and I would love to respond to those comments and see what's going on with you. And Evin, thanks again for coming back on the show, man.
Hey, thanks again, Adam. Appreciate it.